How is Gossamer different or the same as my other works? And I've written a lot of books. I think 35 so far. This is the only one that tries, and I think succeeds, in combining reality and fantasy. My other books are either realistic or they're fantasy. And this one combines the two. There are characters who are real, there are characters who are not real, and their lives take place parallel. They never meet each other, but they affect each other, and that was quite a challenge.
Ears are the easiest way, but do you see the problem with the dog?
Yes, hanging down ears.
So I'll bestow through the nose. It's a good entry point for a dog. Watch now.
Then Elderly closes his eyes and quivers as he pulls up the fragments. Then he leans over carefully until he is almost touching the nose of the dog. He exhales gently. There is a sound like wind chimes and a brief sparkle of light.
Why I chose to write this particular play from one of my books is not just because, but it is because I was in Oregon a couple of years ago, and I had lunch with Stan Foote, first time I'd ever met him, and he said to me, would you be interested in adapting your book?
Both Milwaukee, First Stage of Milwaukee and Oregon Children's Theater cast age appropriately. And we decided to partner on this script, so we're writing it together with Lois Lowry as the playwright, but we're both commissioning the script. And one of the things I want to do on our end is make sure that we have your voice in the writing of this script, because it's a play for young people, it's not a play for old people, it's not a play for me. I love it. I love the story and I love the play, but I want to make sure that we get the right voice in the play.
What interests me about the play most is probably the voice that I can hear Lois Lowry's voice in the stage directions. It's like I'm still, it's like almost like I'm there, she's just that's how real she's made this play. So she did a very good job from transporting the book into a play. That's probably not an easy thing to do.
One thing about Lois is she really respects the child reader. You know, she never talks down to them in her books, and she really winks her eye a lot at the child reader, and they're in on the joke with her. So I think that she really respects readers, and both kids and adult readers.
It's always very tough to figure out where a book comes from. But there's a character in Gossamer who is called simply the woman, who lives alone with a dog and has a whole history, and she kind of makes me think of me. So maybe there's a little bit of autobiography there.
I wonder why they describe him as angry. What does an 8-year-old boy have to be angry about? Oh, well, time for our walk, Toby. I'll go get dressed. He's an angry little boy named John, Toby, and we must be very patient with him. He'll be here Friday.
You know, Gossamer has some pretty serious things going on, and the neglect of the young child in the book is something that's really, can be hard to read, especially if a reader had any kind of experiences like that. They're going to connect with it and they're going to understand it on a deeper level, but it also can be quite painful to read as well.
He was running around the house with no clothes on, and he peed on the floor, like a dog, like a stupid dog. It was bad. His father rubbed his face in it because that's what you do with dogs.
John.
I said shut up. It hurt him. It really hurt when his father rubbed his face in the floor. But he didn't cry. He never cried. Cry, and you get hit.
I think it's the kind of book that warrants a lot of discussion, and so I would definitely, if I gave it to a reader, say, definitely if you want to talk about this, come back and find me and we can talk about it. Or if it was a parent and child together, say, this book has a lot of things you could really talk about in it, because there's a lot of beauty, but there's also a lot of pain in it too.
Yeah. But the truth is, I think coming home in the car, a family having seen this, would be talking about how all of our lives, including the lives of children, are made up of both good and bad things. All of those memories combine to become part of us, and the story of our lives is a collection of all those parts that we've been through.
I think the thing I'd like audience members to see is the adults is to listen to your children, or teachers, listen to your students. Don't just say, okay, this is how we do this, this is how we do this, this is how we do this, because then you're not making sure they're getting it. When Fastidious barks orders, she just yells at littlest. Thinnest elder, or thin elder, because his name varies a little bit, asks her and looks at her and says, do you understand? And asks her to give her the information back so he knows.
I collected little, I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah, they can be called anything. I like to call them fragments.
Yes, I collected fragments. I stored them inside myself. I can feel them there still. They make me feel good.
That's the way you teach people.